Time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Welcome back to another exciting week in Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot has happened in the world of sports. Also the Oscars, all 7 hours I watched last night. We'll get into that. But Maz, you know what today is?
What's today?
You know who's back?
313.
Need you give me a little Europe over there, man. Give me a little final count. Head guard, standing 6'1", out of Grosse Pointe South High School, straight out of the University of Michigan, 20-year staple in the city of Detroit with Fox 2. Now the host of Woodward Sports Network's own Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my co-host and brother, Ryan Ermanni.
All it took was the re-signing. I signed my contract today. 3 years, $33 million for Ryan Ermanni today. Oh,
3 years, 33?
You gotta get a better agent.
I didn't get paid.
You gotta get a better agent.
Oh man, I'm on the phone with Chad ASAP.
Oh man, you gotta call him. I got 3 years, $33 million today.
Damn.
I don't know about you.
I gotta get
$22.5 million of which guaranteed.
If you got 311, I need to get 3 for 22.
Hey, welcome back to me, and glad to be back, everybody. Thanks so much for sticking with me and us last week, dealing with a family situation. So took off a couple of days last week. Who knows? You never know. I may need to take a day off here and there in the
That's
future.
why you got family.
That's right. You're dealing with stuff like that. Nobody ever said, I wish I worked more. So, right? So doing that kind of thing, and glad to be back today, guys. Thanks so much. And what a day it is to return. The Lions.
I'm going to miss this chair, by the way.
Quick to sign a free agency. So here's what we're going to talk about: free agency right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I do want to let everybody know, please, if you have not done so yet, go to woodwardsports.com. If you're watching woodwardsports.com on that website right now, just click the bracket challenge, the Woodward Sports Bracket Challenge. It's a great promotion with our friends from Gardner White. You must be a Michigan resident. Absolutely do that right now and enter for your chance to win.
Lazy boy heaven.
Oh, man, they got some amazing lazy boys over there at Gardner White, too, at the flagship store in Canton. Ryan, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. Last week, there was a lot of love, a lot of outpouring from the Woodward Sports Network chat. A lot of people that have followed us, supported you, sent a lot of love all last week. I want you to know that your fans truly, truly were here for you last week, brother.
Appreciate that so much, guys. And your support means a lot. So I just want to say that publicly. Thank you so much.
How was my final countdown?
We are trending in the right direction. So that's a good thing.
It was actually pretty good. You see, how was my my announcer on the PA?
I was top of the line.
It's like I used Europe, which is the Pistons, but I had the voice from the Bulls.
You know, one of the things about this, you want me just to tell you who my national champion is, just quickly before we get to the NFL?
Let's go for it.
UConn.
You're close.
UConn's going to win the national championship this year.
UCLA.
I can never trust UCLA. Like something about UCLA my whole life. Like, you just can never trust them. Whether it was the O'Bannon brothers, whether it was Toby Bailey, you just never can trust them.
Toby Bailey.
Remember that name? Toby Bailey. I'm going with, you know who's going to win? It's very easy. Bill Self just came back from the hospital. He's going to be good. Kansas probably the first team in NCAA basketball that you do not realize they won the national championship last year. I think they're going to go back-to-back, and they will be the quietest back-to-back national champions of all time.
How about North Carolina? Maybe they'll win.
I don't think they're involved this year.
I don't think
they're involved this year.
They can play Michigan.
I don't think they're involved this year. I'm going with UConn as my national championship, a 4 seed. But
not bad.
You know what? This day is like football porn.
Ooh.
Okay? I mean, it is changing every minute. Seemingly, Braylon.
Just lost another good friend.
And we'll who? What do you got? Maz is maybe we have a breaking news sounder today, JB. Anytime Maz says "whoop," maybe we can hear some sort of like something.
Looney Tunes or something like back in the day. Sound effect.
There you go. Maybe that'll be when you hear this.
The pick is in.
Maz will have some sort of breaking news, or when you hear Maz say
Oh, damn.
Then we'll come to you.
There goes another one.
Or
Right?
you hear him say, "Oh damn!" There goes another one. What do you got, Matt?
Well, no, I cheated. I'm just saying, Mike White. I know it happened about 10 minutes ago, but he signed with the Dolphins. 2
That's
years,
your guy, man.
$16 million. That's a hell of a backup.
Really good backup.
That's a hell of a
That's a
backup.
really good backup.
When you pay somebody's 2 years, $16 million, like you're paying that individual that because you believe that there's a chance that he might be a number one quarterback. He has the potential to be a number one quarterback for cheap. That's a move you do. When you see something like that, they're preparing for maybe the future.
Speaking of preparing for the future, how about the Detroit Lions today? They do, in fact, make a major splash as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of other people. They go out and get a top-tier corner, Cam Sutton, 28 years old, from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Paid him 3 years, $33 million, $22.5 million of which is guaranteed. I've got a list of 100 free agents here as ranked by NFL.com and a lot of websites around.
Do you see Cam Sutton's name on there somewhere?
I do see Cam Sutton's name on here.
Where do you see it?
Cam Sutton is ranked 15th of the top 100 free agents, according to NFL.com.
That's not bad.
The third best cornerback, only behind James Bradbury and Jamal Dean. So they get the third best corner in free agency. They give him a very reasonable contract for a huge position of need. Cam Sutton, let me just read you what the NFL.com says about him. Sutton is a typical of the good young players who hit free agency. He steadily improved throughout his time with the Steelers, only looking like a future star in his sixth season. There just aren't many other young starters available like this young man. Braylon Edwards, I come to you, 28 years old, cornerback 1, CB1, plug and play for an area of need for this team. What do you make of the signing right out of the gate?
It's amazing signing, and also it just continues to show how comparable or how competent Brad Holmes is as a general manager. You knew that cornerback is a position of need. You saw it last year. Lions struggled in the back end for the large majority of the season. But not only did they get a guy, they got a guy that's the third best ranked defensive back in this free agency. They got him for a steal. You see the price point on that? Brad Holmes isn't just trying to go make big splashes like, oh, we got to go pay this guy this, or we got to go pay this guy that. We got to put all this money because we have it. It's about finding the fit. It's about finding the right guys at the right price points. Every time, this was one of the big things that we talked about, Ryan, is the one thing that Brad Holmes hasn't done yet, Maz, is free agency. We haven't seen him really striking free agency. He saved money the first year, second year, ran it back, essentially signed all those players. This was the year. How is Brad Holmes going to be in free agency? How are you when you have money? How are you when you have needs? Well, this is a hell of a start. Picking up Sutton at a price point of 3 for $11 million. That was a position of need. So they're going to get one more. Chad Johnson's been telling us this for a minute. They're going to get one more defensive back in free agency, but this is a damn good start because I like the price point.
There's no doubt about it, guys. And again, one of the things the Lions did today, and I think this is every bit as important. Look, maybe not every bit as important, but I think it was imperative to bring guys back that really helped this team last year. And Isaiah Buggs is one of those guys. Yeah. Isaiah Buggs and John Kaminsky, to me, two guys in their mid to late 20s who are helping this team. When those two guys were healthy up front, that's when you saw Aiden Hutchinson starting to play good football. That's when you saw Josh Pascal have show flashes here and there. It's when those two guys up front, along with Aleem McNeil, this is a really good defensive line. I don't think they got as much credit as they deserve because of how bad they were early on in the season.
I look at the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Take the last 10 games.
Number 7.
The last 10 games of the Detroit Lions season, everybody's talking about the fact that they won 8 games. They held their opponents to under 20 points a game. In those last 10, under 20 points a game on average. If you can do that, Bray, you are winning an awful lot of football games.
Yeah, you're going to win an awful lot of games. I mean, defensive line. That's what I've been talking about, defensive line. For the better part of it, as soon as the season's over, you got to shore up the defensive line. The defensive line played well for the Detroit Lions. And I mean, there were a couple games in there. But as a whole, those last 10 games, they played a lot better. And it was because of guys like, like you said. So, the interior is where they want to firm up, where they want to shore up, sign him back. Kaminsky is the guy now that I think you got to sign back, bring him back. You want to see what happened. Obviously he's tested the market, but bring him back. He's the next guy that you want to sign. I love that they're showing up the line because you see where it's going. Defensive linemen. You see what the 49ers are doing. You see what the Eagles did last year. Defensive line is where you win in the trenches.
Jimmy G to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think that it's a great signing, but they went old. I believe that they'll draft a quarterback.
Jimmy G to the Raiders, 3 years, $67 million. $67 million. He reunites with Josh McDaniels. Yeah, so the Raiders probably will draft a quarterback at some point.
They let Stidham go. Stidham went.
Yeah, some of the lines. Let me just get back to this, what Braylon said about defensive tackles, because he's absolutely right on this. I don't want to skip around too much, but Javon Hargrave, 4 years, $84 million. He signs with the San Francisco 49ers.
That's the big fish.
We talked about that. That's the number one free agent in this class. 30-year-old defensive tackle, undervalued in free agency 3 years ago. Hargrave got bigger money, back-to-back monster seasons. The Eagles were not going to pay him that kind of money. They tend to pay younger free agents, but Javon Hargrave, the number one big fish in this free agent market. And Braylon, we were talking yesterday about the fact, just on text, that I feel like, and I think you agree with this, but I'll let you speak for yourself, I feel like defensive tackle this year, there's going to be a run on those guys getting paid, much like last year the position was wide receiver. Yeah. If you were a free agent wide receiver last year, you were getting boku bucks, man. You were getting paid. I think that's kind of the same thing this year for elite defensive linemen.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at the teams that made it to the end last year. You look at the 4 teams that were in the conference championship and then eventually the Super Bowl. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look how good their defensive line was with Chris Jones, who was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. Look at the Eagles, Javon Hargrave, obviously he leaves that team. Look at how good they were. You look at the 49ers. The only reason the 49ers were there because they had the defensive line. And now they just got better. Like, man, Ryan, when I was in the league, there was certain teams, you just as a player, you just hated playing because the defense was so stacked. Sometimes you play defenses and it's like, they have one player, they have one elite player, and you may not even go against that player, so it doesn't matter. When we would play the Baltimore Ravens, as soon as I would see that game on the schedule, like I knew it was Baltimore week, damn, Ed Reed.
You're going to take a beating.
Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Chris McAllister, Adalius Thomas. Hey, Coach, my hamstring hurt. I'm out this week. I'm out this week. Load management. When you see the 49ers, Greenlaw, Warner, Nick Bosa, now Hargrave, get the hell out of here. I don't want to play them. But also something you said, too, coming back.
Longevity of your career. That's why you take that week off.
Hell yeah. You're trying to extend your career. It's almost like stepping out of bounds instead of taking a big hit. But you know what's funny, and I know we're dancing, jumping all around, is you talk about the Lions striking while you're hot, and you talk about teams like not knowing that window, when is it going to close, if you have this moment again. You got to do everything you can when you're in the moment. I think the Detroit Lions are in a mode like that because you look at the Eagles, their team is falling apart as we speak.
I want to expound on exactly just that point. I want to do it next, but first a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency does an amazing job of providing content on their website, thesportsma.com, about mental health as well as substance use disorder. Sean Jordan does an amazing job of giving you conversations with people who are talking about mental health, talking about social anxiety and things of that nature. It's okay to not be okay. But when you're not okay, where do you go? You got to go to thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Maz for Cousins Maine Lobster, cousinsmainelobster.com. You know the deal. You can win a nice $300 Visa gift card if you help out and vote for Cousins Maine Lobster's food truck, because they're up for Food Truck of the Year. And how you vote? Simple. You get on that QR code right next to my big mug there. Click on it. It is that simple. It'll take you right to the contest. Give them a quick vote. And if they win it, you win or have a chance to win a $300 Visa gift card. They are up for it for the best of at thefreep.com. Best of. Also, you can follow them on facebook.com/CML Detroit for Cousins Maine Lobster. The best seafood in New England is right here in Detroit, USA. It's cousinsmainelobster.com.
The Lions.
Welcome back to another. I'm sorry. I'm just so used to it. No, I'm joking. I did that on purpose.
The Lions get quarterback one, CB1, Cam Sutton from the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Free agent, 3 years, $33 million. They will most likely, absolutely, sign another defensive back at some point. Re-sign Isaiah Buggs as well up front. Braylon, you were talking about this in the last segment. I want to highlight this point here, too. When you have an opportunity to make a run, you make a run. There are no guarantees for the following year. What is happening to the Philadelphia Eagles right now, today, highlights exactly why you have to make that charge when you can. There is no, win 9 games and then there's no natural track, okay? You've got to strike while the iron is hot. The Philadelphia Eagles, your NFC champions, lost today Javon Hargrave, their defensive tackle stud up front. They lost their linebacker, TJ Edwards, to the Chicago Bears. They will lose Darius Slay most likely.
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, they may or may not re-sign him, but they're going to let Bradbury go, 30 years old.
Miles Sanders and running back.
Exactly. But if you just look at their defense right now, that vaunted defense that everybody was talking about, so good, they're going to lose their best defensive tackle, their best linebacker, and their best defensive back. Every level of their defense, they got worse.
Yeah.
So these things don't last.
They don't.
And why aren't they lasting? Do you know why Hargrave has left? Do you know why Edwards has left? Do you know why Slay is leaving? Do you know why Bradbury is leaving?
Money.
Do you know why Gardner-Johnson may or may not leave? Do you know why?
Banks.
One person. Tell me why.
Money.
They have to pay their quarterback. It's just
you know it's coming.
It is.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is going to get $45-50 million, and rightfully so. But when you pay the quarterback, you cannot pay everybody else.
Thank you.
That's why these windows. There's only one team in the NFL whose window is not going to close for any time soon. Maybe even 10 years, 8 to 10 years. And you know what team that is? That's
the Kansas City Chiefs.
Because they got him. And him is Patrick Mahomes. You always have a chance as long as that's your quarterback. With that being said, everybody else is doing the song and dance. Everybody's trying to make it happen. Everybody's trying to get that window. The 49ers, they've been in this window for a minute. But guess what? They're going to have to make some decisions soon, too. They're going to have to pay some people next year. That window run like Eagles. I don't know how good Jalen Hurts is when the game's really on the line, like when he really has to be the quarterback. I saw how easy it was last year when you have a defense like that to win some games and eke some games out. Hell, I saw Gardner Minshew throw for scored 35 points last year. But when that defense falling apart, that window lasts real short. That's why you're the Lions. You got draft capital. You have money in free agency. You got a system that's building in the right way. You got to go get everything you need now. You got to go for it. What are you waiting for?
Tom Mazawey, why can the San Francisco 49ers pay Nick Bosa and $84 million to Javon Hargrave? Do you know the answer to that question?
They have a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy who will not play this year, but that's their guy. And they have Trey Lance, who they traded up to get just a couple of years ago, young quarterbacks.
Yep.
They drafted quarterbacks. That's why we push the Lions to get the quarterback. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of movement. You saw the big move over the weekend with the Bears and Panthers. There are more moves out there.
This is so simple because we have taken so much grief over the last 2 years, really, in wanting a quarterback early. And again, with the Anthony Richardson stuff. And there's going to be plenty of time for draft talk. Today might not be the day for draft talk because of all the free agency stuff going on. But when you see teams get better and get worse, you are able to see who's getting better and who's getting worse. And I understand Jalen Hurts, God bless him, he deserves $50 million. But my goodness, when you lose your best defensive tackle, your best linebacker, and your best defensive back, that comes at a price, man.
It does come at a price. I mean, look at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, there's a reason why Tyreek Hill got let go. They couldn't pay him. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why their left tackle is leaving this year. They can't pay him, but they still have Patrick Mahomes. You see teams that start to go bad, it's when they pay their quarterback, because then you can't have guys. The Buffalo Bills, they're losing players. Why are they losing players, Ryan? That's because they got to pay Josh Allen. His new deal kicks in. Like when you pay these guys, you see it all the time. You see it with teams. They got to get rid of high-point players. You see, look at Devontae Adams. What the whole situation, how that played out with the Green Bay Packers and the Raiders. They had to pay Aaron Rodgers. Couldn't pay Devontae Adams at the same time. When you pay these quarterbacks, you handicap yourself.
Without question. And again, the Lions are far from done in this free agency period. Will they make that big splash? I think a lot of people thought they would go after Jalen Ramsey. I think a lot of people are upset that Jalen Ramsey is not a Detroit Lion. Braylon, you never thought that was going to happen in the first place. We all wanted it to happen. But I think you look at the price tag on that and say a third-round pick. What do you mean a third-round pick? What do you mean a third-round pick? We're talking about offering a first and talking about the Lions offering a second or 2 seconds and a third. He wasn't going to come here. Jalen Ramsey wanted to play in Florida. Yeah. That's what
Guess how much he saved?
$2 million.
$2 million extra on his contract without renegotiating because of the tax situation in Florida.
I do think that's a big thing when it comes to free agency as well, Braylon. You know better than I do. If you're going to go to a Texas team, if you're going to go to a Florida team, you're not going to pay taxes. That money, you throwing away $2 million to the gut. $2 million, I don't care if you make $100 million. Correct. When you just throw away $2 million, essentially, just because of where you live, no way, man. Let me play in a state with no income tax.
100%. That's why you'll see Bobby Wagner and DeAndre Hopkins sign with the Dallas Cowboys before this day or tomorrow is over. But going back to what you said in terms of Florida, $2 million. I remember when I told my dad I was done. Like I knew I was done playing football. My knees were hurting. I said, you know what? Body feels good enough right now. If I retired now, I'd be able to be good. Great quality of living. My dad said, "Are you sure?" I was like, yeah, I'm over. He said, because there's not a lot of, he said, what's your contract if you come back this year? I was like, 2.1. He was like, there's not a lot of things that you can do to make $2.1 million as soon as you finish retiring. So make sure that you know that you're done. I say that to say this, $2 million is a lot of money. $2 million is a lot of money. You can tell me I can save $2 million by going to this team that is actually better than this team anyway, that has no state tax. That's a hell of a move. And not to mention, we talked about with T. Foss last week, Ryan, and we were saying now the Detroit Lions are a team that people talk about. Now the Detroit Lions are a team that the national pundits believe in. Now people on Twitter, now players around the NFL, they like the Lions. They rock with the Lions. But the conversation we had was, this offseason, this free agency, it's going to let us know how much they really rock with a team. Because it's one thing to retweet some things the Lions say or talk about, I kind of like the Lions or I like what they're doing over there. It's another thing when you put your money where your mouth is and you go join that team. So you look at guys right now, you look at like a Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, you look at that deal that they offer him, he was never coming here. Because there's no way you can't tell me the Lions wouldn't have put together a better offer than that. Jalen Ramsey wants to go play with another star and Tyreek Hill, popular players in the NFL. And not to mention, that team has a damn good shot to win the AFC East. So
they got a chance to win the Super Bowl.
100%.
If they get their quarterback right.
100%. So, but is that a good indicator, man? Like Jalen Ramsey going to the Dolphins, does that mean players don't want to come
South
here?
Beach. Come on.
And it's snowing outside right now, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Come on, man.
You know, one of the things, though, I think a lot of people think that was a Lions issue in not getting Jalen Ramsey.
They were interested.
They were interested, and according to one of the reports yesterday, they were one of the final teams in the mix there. But you simply can't force a player to want to play here. And was it Micah Parsons who said,
Yeah, it was.
bro, ain't nobody going from L.A. to Detroit?
It was Micah Parsons.
It wasn't him that tweeted that. So
He was right.
He was right.
He went from L.A. to Miami.
He was right. And, you know, he's a Florida kid that wanted to go back to Florida. And God bless him, he's there.
And 100% he got drafted by Jacksonville Jaguars. He played his college ball, Florida State. He's from the state of Florida. So, hey, man, like, he wants to go back home. Sometimes where you're from matters. TJ Edwards, he just signs with linebacker, signs with the Chicago Bears. TJ Edwards had 159 tackles last year. TJ Edwards all over the place. He signs for $7 million a year. You know why? Guess where he's from? He's from about an hour north of Chicago. A lot of times guys want to go home.
And that's a team on the rise, by the way. The laughable Bears, they tore that team down. They make a big trade to pick up extra draft capital. And they have their quarterback, and now they're building around him. They pick up a terrific wide receiver from Carolina,
DJ Moore.
Yeah.
DJ Moore. They're on the rise already, the Bears, and they're not done. They've got a lot of money left to spend.
Compensation update per sources. This is from Adam Schefter. Bears trade #1 overall pick. This came over the weekend. Most of you guys saw it. They moved back to 9. They also acquired 61, second to last pick in the second round, a first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and they received wide receiver DJ Moore. All of that's amazing. The biggest thing I saw in that, and obviously, yes, the first-round picks, but DJ Moore is a hell of a wide receiver. Like, DJ Moore is a monster, and that's what they don't have. Now they got a guy. They got a guy that's one of those #1 wide receivers. He played in the this man had 1,000 yards, and you can't even name me 4 quarterbacks over the last 4 years for the Carolina Panthers.
He had no hope.
No hope, but he was out there getting yards. He was out there making it happen. The Lions saw that first case in December. But that's going to be a good pick for him. This is why you got to strike when the iron's hot. We just spent all last season dogging the Chicago Bears, ripping them to shreds. They don't have this. They don't have that. They got rid of this. They don't got. Watch the Chicago Bears be a contender and challenge in the NFC North this year.
They still might get Jalen Hurts. The guy that they wanted. One of the top
Jalen
picks.
Carter.
Jalen Carter.
We'll
Because
talk-
I'm hearing he's slipping.
We'll talk about that next. Do you believe the signing of Cam Sutton today alters the Lions' draft plans? What will Mox have the Lions taking? Who will they have taking now with the signing of Cam Sutton? And they are not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. Believe you me, they're going to sign another starting defensive back. There's no doubt in my mind that's going to happen. We'll talk more about those draft plans now with free agency underway when we come back. This is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. What a great day to have some foaling in your life today. Get down to Hamtramck. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 2 hours, you get it for $120. We can put 10 or 12 people on a lane, so you can do the math. Less than $10 ahead on that one. Any drink you want. They got multiple full bars, over 100 beers to offer, and a $2 mystery beer machine.
Code 45.
Get your foal on at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
opinion, make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness.
Why is that, JB?
Because the gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full body workout in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, you guys,
Oh, my.
only $10.
Man.
Planet Fitness has more than 50 convenient locations around the Metro Detroit area, so no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby. Join In Club today, or you can always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
You can't do anything for $10.
No, not at all. Hey, let me just say this about just about free agency, Braylon, and you've been a part of this, so I'll ask you. You know, when you could start making deals like today, for instance, Isaiah Buggs re-signs with the Lions. They go out and get Cam Sutton on a 3-year deal. How quickly do you want to get signed? You know, when that period opens up, you know, a lot of guys, I want to test the waters, or I want to negotiate with this team, that team, the other team. But we expect the Lions to sign a cornerback. We expect the Lions to sign a wide receiver. Still no movement with Jamal Williams. John Kaminsky, just some of their own, DJ Chark, some of their own wide receivers, or some of their own players. How quickly do you want to get a deal done when you are a free agent and you want to find a home immediately, but you also want to find a home that's right for you?
Yeah, you want to find that right fit, and everything is about fit. We keep talking about fit. That's something that you've been looking at during the season. That's something that you've been looking at in the playoffs. That's something you've been looking at as the market before it actually even opened. You've been looking at where that fit's going to be. You want to sign fast, and 2 reasons why you want to sign fast. One, the people that have success in anything in life, Ryan and Ermanni, are the people that have a schedule, the people that have a routine, the people that have consistency. And it's no different in sports. You want to get in that routine. Like, you want to get to a team. I want to figure out where I'm going to live, where I'm going to be working out. I want to start watching the film. I want to see what our identity is. I want to see, what the play offense is, what the scheme, how the quarterback. I want to get into that right away so we can hit this thing and we can get rolling. The more and more you wait, and then it's like, okay, well, I might go here, and now I'm going here, and now factors are pulling on you. My wife doesn't like this city, or my mom's too far from this. Like, things like that, they start to seep into your mind, and then you don't wonder if you went to the right spot.
Right.
Then you start having second doubts. The second thing is you sign early. It's so you feel like the team wanted you. Like, when I get you in right away, that means the team wanted you. That means you were number one priority, or you're a high priority for them. They wanted to get you in, get you settled fast. The longer things take, now you start to feel like the options they wanted weren't there, or they couldn't get those options. So
You
now
were second or third pick.
Exactly. Now you're bringing me in. I'm third fiddle, if you will. So you want to get it signed. 1, to get in your routine, and 2, so you know that they really valued you.
Did David Long sign anywhere yet?
I don't think so.
That's a young linebacker that I think would fit tremendously in this system.
You're hearing Bobby Wagner closing in on a deal with Dallas, though, and that was my guy. I really thought he'd really fit in well here, but it's not. It's not for the Lions, I guess.
I love Bobby Wagner, but
again, if you let's just say, Bray, if you're DJ Chark, okay?
Yep.
If you're DJ Chark, would you sign a $10 million contract with the Lions, or would you sign a $10 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys?
Ryan, do me a favor. Look to your left. That answers your question. I'm signing with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, look at one. It's the star. It's Dallas, man. As we talk about it, as much as people want to hate on the Dallas Cowboys, they hate them because they are the Dallas Cowboys. It's an honor to play for them.
Okay,
it's no state tax.
That's where I'm going with.
Bobby Wagner just was in L.A. last year on that 1-year deal for $14 million. How much of that you think he got? $3 million?
But here's where I'm getting at with all this free agency
I'm going
stuff.
to Texas.
If you're a guy like even Cam Sutton, right?
Yeah.
Cam Sutton, 3 years, $11 million per, essentially. Right, that $11 million is worth way more if you're playing for the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Texans, the Cowboys, than it is when you play for the Lions, or whether you play for a California team.
For the Giants.
We're not talking about NBA money here,
no.
where guys are getting $30 million a year. Like Duncan Robinson makes like $30 million a year, okay?
Ain't made a three-pointer since Michigan.
Exactly. And it makes $30 million. We're talking about guys that make $3 million, $4 million, $10 million, $11 million. And when you're giving
it up,
giving $2 million of that away, it's a really hard pill to swallow. So Lions are the Lions and teams like the Lions are competing against other teams that can maybe offer the same dollar amount, but you take home more money.
We talked
and that's
about
a really
last week.
tough place to play.
You weren't here last week. We talked about Jordan Poyer of
Not
the
a
Bills.
level playing field.
Buffalo.
Jordan
Not a level
Poyer of the
playing
Bills. His contract, most of it, went to tax.
Yeah.
In New York.
Oh, you can't play for a New York or
can't-
California team.
it's-
You
it's-
just can't do it.
You think?
So he's not going to re-sign in Buffalo. He's
Yeah.
going somewhere else. It's just math, man.
And also, what also adds the last level to that is it's not only saving money, Ryan. It's not going to Texas and playing for the Cowboys because I'm saving money. Going to Florida and playing for the Dolphins because I'm saving $2 million. They're actually good. Like these teams, not only is it free, it's no state tax. These teams are challenging for the Super Bowl. You heard what Tua said all last season. He said like people are scared to talk about Super Bowl. We're not. Like they were in games without Tua. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I know, right? Whatever that was. Yeah, like they were in games without Tua. The Cowboys are in the playoff hunt, in the Super Bowl hunt every freaking year. So not only are you giving me more money, I'm keeping more money, and you guys are good. It's a no-brainer.
It is not. It is a no-brainer, and also a no-brainer. I think when you look at the Lions and after this one signing today, let's just stick with the one signing, the free agent signing. Not talking about bringing back Bugs, but going elsewhere outside the organization and signing Cam Sutton, cornerback one. The Lions have been mocked a cornerback. I think in every mock draft
The
we've
kid
ever
from
seen.
Oregon is always number 6.
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Always.
Christian Gonzalez.
It ain't
Christian
happening.
Gonzalez.
It ain't happening.
Witherspoon.
What have I been saying all along here? What have I been telling you all along?
Use.
And I said use as an ode to Maz here.
For sure.
Veterans.
You go buy your defense.
Yeah.
You go buy your defense. You make what you do great and you make it greater. And that's what I'm talking about offense. I have changed that philosophy a little bit. Actually, I've not changed it at all. But I will
Coming
tell
around to
you,
the dark side.
I am not coming around to the dark side. But what I will tell you is that what I've been saying holds true today. If Will Anderson or Jalen Carter are available at 6, you absolutely run to the podium
Pull your hamstring.
and you draft that player. If neither of those guys are available at 6, you get your quarterback. We thought it was Anthony Richardson. He's going to be well gone by then. So now I think you do have to do your due diligence on Will Levis, unless you just don't like him at all and you have to reach there for a player. But if Jalen Carter is available at 6 and the Lions do not take him, I might be out.
You might be out in Detroit on Brad Holmes.
I might be out. But especially with the news today of the Cam Sutton signing.
Right.
You've got your defensive back. You are not even done yet. You will absolutely 100% signing another
Darius Slay.
defensive back.
And a linebacker.
Maybe
Anzalone
But-
back, or someone else.
No.
If Jalen Carter is available at 6 and you don't run to the podium to select that player, I'm out. I'm out.
You and everybody else, look, I understand the guy likes to drive fast a little bit. You know, we'll have to sit down and talk to him and get that under control. Like, look, man, you can't be driving 89 in the 45. We gotta get that understood because they will pull you over in Allen Park. But with that being said, no, we definitely gonna get Jalen Carter and get this thing moving. I don't need the quarterback. I'm beyond that. When I say strike while the iron's hot, like you got a quarterback in Jared Goff that proves he can get the job done for the next 2 years. You got space.
Jalen Carter changes everything for
100%.
me. Jalen Carter
100%.
changes everything for me.
100%. I don't want to hear
everything.
I don't want to hear about. Well, there's so many questions. There's so many. What the man had 2 misdemeanors. Those things are going to be gone before you even get drafted. There's nothing to even talk about once April 23rd or when the hell the draft is coming up. Jalen Carter slipping. This is that move you got to make. I know the Detroit Lions typically haven't gone with, guys that aren't squeaky clean or guys that have public bad luggage, if you will. So what? You trying to be good? You trying to be great?
Don't forget, Todd McShay mentioned something back in December about Carter that really we don't know yet what that is.
From what I hear, it just seems like he likes to drive fast, which is not a good thing, but, I mean, we can fix that.
So here's a point about that, though, Maz. If we were in a situation where Jalen Carter, where we really had no idea about his availability and he was going to fall out of the first round, I'm with you. I could understand it. But when you're mocking him 8 or 9,
Right.
no. If he's good enough to get drafted at 8,
He's good enough to get drafted at 6.
he's good enough to get drafted at 6. Because had it not been for this situation that he's got, this legal situation, you know where he would have been drafted?
Number 1.
1.
I know,
to Chicago
but it
Bears.
happened.
I understand, but again, it happened. But is he eligible to play or not?
So far he is.
I'm so sorry. That sounds so insensitive to the 2 people that died. I get it, but is he available to play or not? If he is available to play, you have to select that player if he's available.
Are you
to
taking him or the quarterback?
I'm taking him.
Okay.
I'm taking him because I'll tell you why. And I'll go back to the Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell debate.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Would you rather...
Neil Rule, if you listen, turn your ears off.
Would you rather have Tony Baselli, or who's your Hall of Famer that you played with in
Joe
Cleveland?
Thomas.
Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas.
Would you rather have Joe Thomas, or would you rather have
Lawrence Taylor.
Sign me up for 56, please.
Would you rather have Aaron Donald, or would you rather have Jalen Ramsey?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
You have this year's version of Aaron Donald staring you right between the eyes.
Yep.
And it's
draft me.
And it's very simple. This is not even a question of if you should do it or if you shouldn't do it, unless some new information comes out and he falls out of the first round altogether.
Look, listen, I'm going to say something, and it is what it is. Like, kill the woe is me over the situation that's happened. It's a horrible situation. It's tragic, but he had nothing to do with that. I just watched the Cleveland Browns pay a man $250 million guaranteed dollars last year. They had 27 cases of sexual misconduct or inappropriate behavior.
Great
I
point,
watched
Bray.
the Cleveland Browns. It's funny. It all comes back to Cleveland. I watched the Cleveland Browns sign a running back after he kicked his girlfriend like he was Mort Anderson. I just want to sign him, and people forgot about that. There's a lot of things that these players have done in the NFL, and teams don't care. It's like, what's your availability? If you're available, we will sign you, and we will pay you. You mean to tell me the situation with Jalen Carter has nothing to do with him technically? You're going to pass on him because of that? Man, cry me a river. You want to win, get this man Jalen Carter.
First of all, I'm okay with it unless you're a murderer. I'm okay with it. But go back to the Browns for a
Ray
second.
Lewis beat that too. There
Go
you
back to the Browns
right.
for a second. They haven't won diddly. They're doing what they did. What they did,
But they're trying.
They're trying, but they haven't won anything yet.
But they're trying.
So let's see. By the way, they renegotiated his contract already.
Yeah,
to get out of that
$36 billion,
negative hole.
Hey, let me just say this too about Jalen Carter and the Detroit Lions. Again, if this young man is indeed troubled, and I don't know that. I mean, the only thing is he likes to drive fast right now. Right, that's the only thing that I know. I don't know anything else. Isn't your culture a perfect fit for this young man? Brad Holmes, Chris Spielman, Dan Campbell, this coaching staff with all these former players
Aaron
on this
Glenn.
coaching. Aaron Glenn. Does this culture fit what this young man may need?
Yeah, like people.
That it's a perfect fit.
100%. Like everybody wants to judge kids when they come out of college. Like they're already adults. They've already made, you know what I'm saying? Like they've already got to where they're going to be. They are who they are. Like kids make mistakes. Guys are young. They make mistakes. They learn. You put them in the right environment and they can become the best version of themselves. I think I 100% agree with you. You see what they're building, Dan Campbell, the other coaches, former players. This is the place where you want to come. Wrap your arms around them. Say, hey, man, this is how we do things here. Let's make you great. And you're gonna make us great.
Hey, it's been a quiet last 30 minutes, by the way, on the NFL front.
Let me just give you one analogy, okay?
Yeah.
Let me give you one analogy. Back in 1998, there was a troubled wide receiver. You know what his name is?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Yeah.
He was
There
a
you
troubled
go.
wide receiver. You know what happened to him?
3 different
He
colleges.
got passed up.
Where did he end up?
Minnesota Vikings, pick 21.
And where is he now?
Hall of Fame.
And you know what?
First ballot.
You know what else? He's a Hall of Fame person. He's
Good
not
call.
only a Hall of Fame player.
He's terrific on
Randy
TV.
Moss is a Hall of Fame person.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
If you are with
Good
the
point,
right
Ryan.
organization,
Good
if
point.
you are with the right organization, people grow up real quick. You just got to find that good spot.
I know we got to go commercial flex, my bad, but you're absolutely right. You look at when they draft Randy Moss. Who's on the team? Chris Carter. Chris Carter becomes his big brother, his mentor.
And John
helps him.
Randall.
Guess who his quarterback was at the time? Just got back in the NFL. Randall Cunningham was his quarterback, so he was around all these vets. He couldn't help be a great person.
Seriously.
And then he plays with Tom Brady.
More free agent talk will go around the league as well. Big day in the NFL. The Lions signed Cam Johnson. My goodness.
Cam Sutton, baby.
Cam Sutton.
Cam Sutton
It's
as
okay,
well.
man. You've been off for a couple days.
Cam Sutton, Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 years, $33 million. Who are they going to get next? We'll examine it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Of course, looking for a Cadillac or a Chevy. Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong for over 50 years. Family owned. You get the family deals.
Ooh.
You get everything. You get the family
Can I get one of those
treatment.
family deals?
Yeah, absolutely. You get the family treatment.
Ooh.
How about that? Find the brand you want. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry. Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
At Alta, uptime matters.
It matters.
That's right, it's back. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today at 844. Go to Alta. That's 844. Go. The number 2, Alta.
Guys, some big free agent news today. It is the first day the teams can exclusively sign free agents. And, of course, I don't think anything becomes official until the league year officially starts on Wednesday. But teams can agree to those deals now.
Speaking of officially, I'm so sorry about this. We kind of came in hot with the show. Happy 313 day to everybody out there.
Happy 313 day.
Shout out
Look
to
at
the
that.
313, baby.
Look at that. Guys, around the NFL today, the Raiders, we look at these quarterback dominoes, right? Who was the first quarterback domino? We all thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. It has not been Aaron Rodgers. Let me tell you this much about the Jets. Boy, if they get burned now, if they get burned, if he decides he doesn't want to play, if he does want to retire, boy, they let Derek Carr go to New Orleans, and today they let Jimmy G go to the Las Vegas Raiders. So Jimmy Garoppolo rejoins Josh McDaniels, his old New England Patriots offensive coordinator. So Garoppolo to the Raiders.
Can we just talk about Aaron? Can we say something about Aaron Rodgers? 8 weeks ago, Ryan Ermanni, Aaron Rodgers told us. He told all of us, the watching public and the people in the media. You know what he said, Maz? He said,
I'm not going to hold them hostage.
I'm not going to hold them hostage. I promise I will make a decision short and sweet. That was 2 months ago. That was 2 months ago. And now he's not only holding the Green Bay Packers hostage, he's also holding the New York Jets hostage. Aaron Rodgers is a real piece of work. He's a real piece of work. He's been hiding in this cabinet, or this dark cabinet. He's come out of the cabinet, or the cabin, Still doesn't have.
You saw his shadow. He ran back in.
Like Punxsutawney Phil. You know what's going to end up happening with this Joker? He's going to end up screwing everybody and retire. Like, I'm starting to lean towards he's just going to retire. Because now if he retires, Green Bay they're screwed. And so is the New York Jets. If Aaron Rodgers retires, you've always talked about this, Ryan, leaving the money on the table. If he retires, Green Bay is screwed.
Green Bay has all the. I believe Green Bay holds all the cards here, especially
not if he retires.
But not if he retires. But I don't expect him to retire. But in terms of trade,
Aaron Rodgers we're talking about.
Now they say that the deal is in place. They're just waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make an official decision. The deal is in place. But if I'm Green Bay, and I'm looking at Derek Carr signing, and I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo signing, I'm looking around and saying, hello, we need to rework this deal because you owe me a couple of more things. There's nobody else that you want out there.
Baltimore, maybe?
Lamar Jackson's out there,
Listen to me. I don't know if you guys talked about Lamar Jackson last week.
A little bit.
I've got to get this off my chest. I cannot understand what has happened to Lamar Jackson.
I've never seen it before.
Is one of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Insane, inexplicable things I've ever seen in my life when it comes to the National Football League.
It's unexplainable.
Who does that? To have not one team. You know, I think what Baltimore did was smart. They put the franchise tag on him.
The non-exclusive.
And they say, you know what? You go get your deal.
You set the market.
Go ahead. Go get your deal. We'll be right here. We'll either match or we won't. Because we're not going to negotiate against ourselves. I thought that was a smart business move by the Baltimore Ravens. But for not one team to make an offer for a top 5 starting quarterback in this league, maybe a top 4 starting quarterback in this league.
It used to be.
I got nothing. I
saw Ryan Clark last week on ESPN say that this is bordering on the line of collusion. And I saw a lot of people have pushback. They're like, it's not collusion. How could you call this collusion? This is them just being smart front office people and them allowing other teams to set the market. And I struggle with both sides because from one end I understand the business side. Like I'm 40 now, and we talk about it now. I understand.
You're a man.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
You're a man.
40.
You're 40.
So we understand the business side of things, how you have to operate as a front office, saving money here or there. See the how long can a player last? Well, blah 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 blah. But on the other side, I just see like if you do the non-exclusive, you're basically letting the other 31 teams we want him as our guy, but we don't want to pay him or what he might command or what blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do this, and we're letting you know, wink, wink, like, don't try to match the offer. Like, this is what we want to pay him, $35 million. We don't want to pay $45, et cetera. So it does have a level of collusion. It's interesting, but at the same time.
But I don't understand the collusion part of it. I don't see.
It's easy. You ready?
Yeah.
They're picking on him. They're bullying him. His mother is his agent.
We'll show you.
His mother. He has no agent.
I think that's a terrible decision by Lamar Jackson.
It is. If he had Drew Rosenhaus, he'd already have a long-term contract, and no one is crapping on Drew Rosenhaus. They're crapping on the guy, and the freaking Jets are making the worst decision in their franchise history by not throwing everything at Lamar Jackson, giving 2 picks to the freaking Ravens, and telling Aaron Rodgers, who I love, to take a walk. Because if he does sign with the Jets, he's only staying 1 stinking year.
The biggest thing with Lamar Jackson and not having an agent, and we've talked about this, I know we're getting off track, but you got to have an agent when you're doing these deals. You know why? There's so much stuff that goes on in those rooms, Ryan and Ermanni, players aren't privy to. Players don't want to know what those guys are talking about in those rooms, the way in which they're talking about players. Those rooms get ugly, and the agents talking to the front office guy, well, F you, F that, we're not going to give you this, we'll leave, we'll walk, we'll do. Like, you got to have a guy, you got to have a middle guy that can fire those shots. You can't walk in the meeting room as the player and tell him this, that, and the third, tell the owner, this is what I want, this is what I command. They can't be as aggressive with you as they want to be in a negotiating situation, so they don't say anything to Lamar Jackson, and you get nowhere in doing a deal.
If you're the New York Jets, You're going to send two picks to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers?
No, they're not doing that.
Well, what are you sending to
the Packers are going to get like a third-round pick.
Okay.
They're not getting anything.
No.
Because they just want to dump salary. The Jets are idiots because this guy is playing them. Right now, I just read something in the New York Post. Not the Porch, but the New York Post. And it says Aaron Rodgers is holding both the Packers and the Jets hostage. This is after I even said the words. It's there. He's screwing them. He is playing the long game, this guy. He don't really want to go to New York. He don't.
Guys, let me tell you something.
He don't want to go to New York.
What does he want to do,
He's
man?
scared, I think, to
Yeah.
go to New York.
Like,
He probably would rather stay in Green Bay, play another year or two, and say goodbye. He don't want to leave Green Bay.
You just said something I never thought about. He's scared.
Yeah.
Like last year was the first time he looked mortal. Like last time was the first year he really looked mortal. His decision making wasn't there. He threw 12 interceptions. He never throws over 7. He had 12 interceptions last year. Decision making wasn't there. He lost to the Detroit Lions both times. He heard what people said about him, and I know he won the MVP back-to-back years. A year before that, but we talk about it. There is a position above all others, Ryan, that when you get insecure or when you lose that confidence, it is the hardest position to come back from when you lose that confidence. It's the quarterback position.
Let me ask you guys, and look, I don't know how the Detroit Lions have not gotten in on this. I really don't. How the Lions team is set up perfectly for a Lamar Jackson led offense. You could give them 8. You can give Baltimore 18. You can give Baltimore a high 1 next year. And if it's only because you want to be able to have a first-round draft pick next year when you hold the draft in Detroit, I think fans of Detroit would be much happier if the Super Bowl champion Lions were hosting the 2024 NFL draft than if you just had a first-round pick.
By the way, our guy Dove Kleiman says it's a done deal.
Aaron
to the Jets. We'll see. I'll wait until I see it from Schefter.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I believe that was the natural fit there. But I don't forget about Rodgers for a minute. If you're the Lions, man, damn, he's 26 years old. He's 20. He's the same age as Stetson Bennett.
It's true.
He's the same age as Hendon Hooker.
He'd be a terrific Jet.
Forget about the freaking Jets, man.
He'd be a terrific Lion.
This is a 26-year-old MVP of the league who you could get for a really cheap price.
No price.
But compared to what you're going to have to pay 2 years from now. How can't you sign Lamar Jackson? How can't you make a run at him? How?
Because if you don't get him, you're telling Jared Goff to basically saying, we didn't want you.
I think Jared Goff is not stupid.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is a lot of things, but he's not stupid.
He went to Cal Berkeley.
Well, that might make him stupid, actually. But if
talking about the number 2 public institution,
right.
you know it's number 1, right?
If Jared Goff had to sit down and say, "Yep, you got Lamar Jackson," I understand.
No, I don't want to hear it.
I mean,
if I'm Jared Goff, I disagree. If I'm Jared Goff, you can't tell me anything. Last year I threw for 4,800 yards, I threw for 30 touchdowns, and I threw under 10 interceptions.
Oh, guys.
And I threw for 10 interceptions. You can't tell me anything, Jared Goff. You asked me to do this, and I delivered.
Don't defend him. Don't defend him.
I'm saying if I was Jared Goff.
We know he's good. He's just not Lamar good.
I don't know how people are saying no Lamar
better than Lamar last year.
Well, not really.
Technically, he was better than Lamar last year.
I have no idea how people are saying no Lamar in this chat.
I don't. I mean,
how
people love him. They have fallen in the Jared Goff trap. They have. You guys really have fallen for it. You guys are going to pay him $50 million in 2 years. Next year, not 2 years. Next year.
No.
Please call him. Call his mama.
You're desperate.
Call somebody.
Mama call him Clay. I'm calling him Clay.
Please call his mother.
Let me ask you something. Can a team trade for him?
Jackson.
Can a team trade for him instead of doing the sign Or is it too late because of the franchise tag?
I think the franchise tag, you can't trade
With
him.
this offensive line and J-Mo and Amon-Ra?
That's the one thing the Lions have to get now. They got to get a superstar.
Oh, my God.
They one of these,
That's what we just said.
One of these players, no, I know that. But I'm saying one of the players that's already on the Lions has to become a superstar. Because if you notice in free agency, guys go where superstars are. Like, that's one of the big draws in free agency. Like, you got guys like Tyreek Hill on the phone like, yo, Jalen, come on, man. We get out here in Florida. Like, guys want to play with other guys that they see on social, guys that are popular, guys that are great.
What's the harm? Okay, he's making, what, $34 million on the franchise tag this year?
Yeah.
What's
31.
What's the harm in offering him $45 million a year? What's the harm in doing that? If he don't want to take it, don't take it.
Then
because are you going to pay Jared Goff $45 million a year in 2 years from now?
Yeah, they want to. The chat does.
Are you going to have a nice locked-in quarterback when these salaries just continue to rise, continue to get out of control? I don't know. Maybe I'm the dummy. I don't know. But you are not a dummy if you come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and get all tight. Come to Lady
you still think about Lamar Jackson
for
still
an
in your head.
award-winning haircut experience and
Get
register
this
for
man
a
Lamar
once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up
payment.
to $200,000.
$200,000.
Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. We want
7 days
Lamar
a week.
Jackson. Open 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hour number 2, woodwardsports.com. Hey, if you are listening to us in the form of podcast style, go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz program. Give us a 5-star review.
5-star.
5-star review for those dumb takes, right? I don't understand it. By the way, it is being reported, as you mentioned, Maz, that Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is in fact being traded to the Jets. It is done. That is from Trey Wingo. But again, another.
Did they say anything yet about compensation?
No,
all right,
not yet. Another quarterback is off the board. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just can't wait to see this year unravel with the Jets, the New York media, and Aaron Rodgers. Like, this is about.
It's going to be a Brett Favre 2.0.
This is about.
It's going to be Brett Favre 2.0.
I hope not.
It's going to be really This is going to be better.
Yeah.
This is going to be must-see TV. I am going to be tuned in to every press conference.
How you feeling if you're Garrett Wilson right now?
Pretty damn good, aren't you?
Pretty damn good.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm picking Aaron up from the airport and taking him straight to
Pretty damn good, I would think. I mean,
what were you saying? Who signed just now? Case Keenum?
Case Keenum just signed with the Houston Texans.
They wanted Jimmy G. They settled for Keenum.
Look, Case Keenum, Mike White, I don't know who you're going to sign. Detroit here.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're going to start at sign at quarterback, because you will sign. Forget about who you're going to draft.
Yeah.
Forget about who you're going to draft, because you will draft a quarterback at some point. Who knows where, but you're going to draft somebody. You're going to draft, sign a free agent backup quarterback. Who that guy
like
is,
Nate Sudfeld?
I don't know. No, it's not going to be Nate Sudfeld. And if it is, this team is, again, they're in trouble.
Yeah, Case
in that position. That would be, let me not say it's in trouble, that would be a weakness of the team.
Yeah, this is something I talked about last year. It's something that I stayed on top of. Now that you guys are in a good situation, the Detroit Lions, you got to have a good backup. Because just because a guy, gets hurt. And people say, and Neil said this on the show. Shout out to Neil Rule, Big D Energy, 1101. He said, why are you getting a backup quarterback? If the backup's in, then that means you don't have a chance.
That's not true.
See, I disagree with that logic for this reason. Case Keenum is a guy that's been in the NFC Championship. He took the Minnesota Vikings. Like that miracle, the Minnesota Miracle, that was not Kirk Cousins. That was Case Keenum. Excuse me. So he has experience. He paid $4 million last year for the Buffalo Bills. $4 million for a guy that can extend the season. You're not paying a backup quarterback $4 or $5 million to win a Super Bowl. What you're doing is when your quarterback has a high ankle sprain, or when your quarterback misses a game or two or three, he's a bridge. Last year, Cooper Rush was the bridge for the Dallas Cowboys. When Dak Prescott got injured, Ryan Ermanni, everybody said what? Season is over. Not only did their season not end, they got better. They won 4 out of 5 games with Cooper Rush. He was a bridge, and then when Dak came back, you get back. Dak wasn't that good, but when Dak came back, he was just a bridge. You got to have a quarterback for that moment that's a bridge. Guy like Case Keenum would have been good. $4 million, Houston Texans.
And you look at some of the quarterbacks still available. I mean, there's really not a lot of guys out there. I mean, you're going to be stretched thin here at the quarterback position to sign somebody.
Who you gonna go get? Colin Kaepernick?
I mean, I think that
that
ship has sailed, has it not?
Unless Harbaugh lets him throw a spring ball again.
But your boy Mike White signed with Mike White is a perfect backup.
Maz is crying,
isn't he? Mike White.
You know how I feel about him. He gave him $16 million. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. They're not messing around.
They're not.
Jarrett Stidham left the Raiders, and he went to. Who did he go
Texas.
to?
No.
Jarrett Stidham went to the Broncos. $10 million for 2 years. They also signed a guard in Ben Powers for $52 million a year. So the Broncos, and they're also shopping their wide receiver trio.
Yeah.
They're not messing around.
I mean,
either.
I don't know. Look, there's a couple of guys out there. Jacoby Brissett is a guy that I think would be a really good backup. But again, you're not going to pay.
He's going to be too expensive.
Yeah, you're not going to pay a guy like that.
He's been making $20 million a year for about the last 4 years.
Teddy Bridgewater.
He's $8 million.
Is a guy that you're not going to pay. There's some. It's give and take. If you want one of these guys, you're gonna have to pay. And I'm not sure that the Lions are going to pay that kind of money for a quarterback.
Yeah,
like
I'm not
that.
paying anybody on that list that type of money. Like we need a guy, and I'll find a guy, and I don't know, maybe that guy's not on that list. You got to have a backup quarterback that you trust in for a bridge situation. But at the same time, I agree with some of those pundits. I ain't paying these guys a lot. Like, so whatever quarterback we find, Ryan Ermanni.
Gardner Minshew, you're not paying Gardner Minshew, are you?
I got $3 million for you. Take it or leave it.
I mean, Gardner Minshew was a really good backup for Jalen Hurts last year.
He put up 34 points in the game that Jalen Hurts didn't play.
The Chiefs just spent $80 million on an offensive tackle from the Jags, Jawan Taylor. 4 years, $80 million. 4 years, $80 million to protect your investment.
100%. That window's never closing. They're smart. That window's not closing. They're like, when you have a situation, I don't think people realize how good Patrick Mahomes is. They're like, we don't care who's a wide receiver. They don't have any receivers that you really like or that whatever. They don't care who's a wide receiver. The running back or the backfield, that's shaky every week. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's Pacheco one week. Maybe it's McKinnon the next week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire maybe 1 week. But all they care about is Patrick Mahomes and that left tackle. They'll be in that window for a very long time. He's that good.
And you think about Tom Brady, who, the best wide receiver he ever had was Randy Moss. Never won a Super Bowl. That was
for 3 years,
but never won a Super Bowl with him.
Nah.
So I mean, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you could do pretty good without a big time wide receiver. And guys are going to want to play with you.
Yeah.
Guys are naturally going to want to play with you at that.
I'll take a pay cut to play with him.
Hey. The Chiefs don't have an awful lot of money to pay people, but they took most of their salary and dumped it into security for their investment.
You know who's not going to take a cheap deal? Odell Beckham.
Oh my God.
He's out of his mind.
I mean, if somebody's willing to pay it, but I don't
wants
think anybody's
$20
willing to
million.
pay it.
I
I don't
would've-
think
I would've
anybody's
given
willing
10.
to pay it.
It was so funny. It's
I
Dow
would have given him 10.
Free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham is seeking $20 million per year contract per Mike Florio. Odell, who went unsigned in the entire 2022 season, recently had a workout with Arizona in front of 13 NFL teams. He's 30 years old. It's 2 ACL injuries within the last 3 years of each other. Yeah, look, Odell, that's my guy.
I know.
I love Odell Beckham. I was happy to see the success he was having with the Rams. I mean, you're one injury away from potentially being Super Bowl MVP. He was that good and he was that on. Had the injury tear, missed all of last season. He's 30 years old. I'm not paying him $20 million. What am I paying Odell $20 million for? He's a bigger wide receiver now. He's not as fast. He's not as explosive. You don't know when that knee's going to give again. $20 million? Odell, you might want to come off that price point.
No doubt about it. Guys,
I got $20.
We mentioned this off the top, and one of the things I want to do next is really kind of dive into the NFC North. For the first time in over 25 years, the Green Bay Packers are going to be quarterbacked by somebody other than Brett Favre and somebody other than Aaron Rodgers. This is your best opportunity over the course of the last generation to be the front runner in the NFC North, in the NFC Central Division, essentially. The time is now, to steal a phrase. The time is now for your Detroit Lions to be on top. Aaron Rodgers out of the NFC North. The question is anything short of a division championship a failure for the Detroit Lions? Is that the floor? Division championship home playoff game. Want to ask you that next. Aaron Rodgers out. He's going to the Jets. We'll have it for you next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yeah, look at that weather out there. Another garbage day in the D. On 313 day, nonetheless. Anyway, we're not going to get the sun here. You get it a little bit, but you got to get your sun somewhere. You get your vitamin D somewhere. That's where Chili Peppers Tanning comes in handy. And you have no excuse. You got to find one. 27 locations across the Metro Detroit area. 2 right here on Woodward Avenue. You get the best deals. Plus, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 if you join that Pepper Club for an unlimited tanning. And, of course, the cleanest salons in the D. They know what they're doing. Trained tanning specialists. That's right. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Citron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports fans. That's you. For their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack, only $15, free shipping and handling, suitable for vegans, and it's gluten-free. DrinkCitron.com/Woodward. Drink it, live it. Citron.
So funny. So many people.
Citron
No. So many people believe only Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero or Ian Rappaport can break news.
Right.
It's like if
they don't say it, you don't
God
believe
bless those guys, right?
Yeah.
God bless those guys. Schefter, Pelissero, Rappaport.
The second 2 guys.
Ari Mayroff.
My God.
Ari Mayroff. If those 3 or 4 guys don't break the news, people don't believe it.
Right.
Remember Trey? I don't even know if people even remember Trey Wingo.
Yeah, I loved him.
Trey Wingo was one of the best sportscasters of our time, really.
NFL Live was his show.
Yeah.
So they took it away, and, well, do what they do.
If Trey Wingo,
SVP.
If Trey Wingo is reporting that the Aaron Rodgers to the Packers deal is done, the Packers-Jets deal is done.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the Schefter, Pelissero, and Rappaport.
There are other
out
people
there.
out there, guys.
Yeah, there are other people out there who can break news.
Is Trey Wingo, is he making a move, like on a comeback in terms of being?
He's doing that. He's doing what we're doing.
But what I'm saying by that is, I've heard his name more in the last week than I've had in the last 10 years.
He's been on Twitter more.
Exactly. Like he's been because I heard it, even who was it? My guy Colin Cowherd was like the report out of Trey Wingo. That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Like this is what Colin said on the show, and now I'm hearing it more and more. So, but yeah, deal's done. All right.
He used to run the draft, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he did. He was the draft guy. I just think, look, I don't think you can underscore the importance of Aaron Rodgers getting out of the NFC North, and I really do believe now that the Detroit Lions
it's go time.
Are the front runner in the NFC North, and anything other than a division championship is an absolute failure.
100%.
Failure.
I agree. I agree. The biggest obstacle that has been in your way as a Detroit Lions team for the past 12 years has been number 12. It's been Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been the biggest obstacle for the Detroit Lions. And now, excuse me, and now he's gone. The Minnesota Vikings, you split with every year anyway. The Minnesota Vikings, nobody believes in, nobody trusts in Kirk Cousins. The defense was horrible last year. That's why they went out and got Brian Flores. So that team's up in there. Like that 13-4, like that 13-4 could turn around and be 9-8 this year. That's just how inconsistent the Vikings are. And then the Bears, yeah, they got Justin Fields. Justin Fields rushed for 1,100 yards. They gave him DJ Moore and got some draft capital and blah, 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 and they're building up the right way. I don't want to hear any of that. The Detroit Lions are primed and in a position where they can win it this year. Why wait? Why now?
Why wait?
Why wait? Why not us? And the Detroit Lions, that's why I understand the Lions have done things the methodical way. They're building it the right way. Brad Holmes is a really good job. I got to see one free agent sign. That's a big one. And I understand Cam Sutton is going to be a really nice cornerback for us out of Steelers. I saw him last year when they played against Jamar Chase. He was pretty good. But I need that one player that I was like, yes, I wanted him. I want that one name. I don't know if it's a Draymond Jones out of the Broncos. Like, I got to have that one name that I just feel like, oh, yeah, they're going for it. Or they made a move.
I really want to say this, too, and I always talk about
I want one dumb move.
If you what did we do? Remember when we did that exercise, guys, last year? We just picked a random week in the NFL. I think it was like week 3.
Who's the better quarterback?
Who's the better quarterback in the game?
Yeah.
And 12 of the 15 games, the team with the better quarterback won the game. Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC North now. And I'm not, no disrespect to Jalen Hurts, or excuse me, to Justin Fields. He will be a fine quarterback, but he is not there yet. 17 passing touchdowns last season. He didn't have a wide receiver. We'll see what he does this year. But Jared Goff is right now the best quarterback right now, next season.
Right.
Next season. I'm not saying 2 years from now or 3 years from now. I'm saying in 2023, Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC North. If you have the best quarterback in the division, chances are you will win the division. See Aaron Rodgers.
Jared Goff's better than Kirk Cousins?
Yes. 100%. I absolutely believe that. Now, I've never been a Kirk Cousins guy.
Right.
I think Kirk Cousins won a clock. Kirk Cousins is fine. Really good player.
You still going with that?
Yes, I am. See your New York Jets. Or Giants.
Giants, yeah.
Your New York Giants in the playoff game.
I don't think that was his fault, though.
Kirk Cousins cannot play a prime time or a big game. He just can't do it. Can't do it.
At the end of the day, you have to show. I mean, you have to believe at some point what your eyes continue to show you, and what my eyes. Because man, I backed Kirk Cousins all last year with you. Yeah. I was a Kirk Cousins sympathizer, and it got me burned. Like at the end of the day, at some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? He's showing us who he is. He's a very good quarterback in the regular season. He's okay in the playoffs, but he will never be a guy that's going to win the championship. If he ever won a Super Bowl, it would not be because of him.
Okay.
It would be like a Brad Johnson situation.
Let me just say this too about
I love Brad Johnson.
Just look at last year, okay? Last year, Kirk Cousins, 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. Okay? Jared Goff, 4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers.
Maybe he's better coached. They didn't use Dalvin Cook a lot last year. I mean,
they do have Justin Jefferson, by the way, the best receiver in the game.
I know.
Right.
I just think you're underselling Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's not making. He was the first guy to make $40 million,
and he's still making $40 million.
I'm just saying they can't. They're not that stupid to pay him $40 million and not believe in the guy.
Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins have identical numbers last year, except the interceptions. Jared Goff has half the interceptions that Kirk Cousins threw last year. Everything else, completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, all the same.
Yeah, I mean, with Kirk Cousins, I mean, those are the things. You're going to get 4,800 yards out of him every year. You're going to get 30 touchdowns, and you're going to get 14 interceptions. That is par for the course. That's been the par for the course since he was with the Washington Commanders. They were the Redskins at the time. He's going to do that every year. But he's not going to win the games that matter. He's not going to win on Monday night. He's not going to win on Sunday night. He's not going to win in the playoff. He's got, one playoff win, I believe?
What's the scenario the Lions don't win the division?
They fall back on their laurels and they go back to Lion-esque and they win 8 or 7 or 8 games next year instead.
I think it's only one thing. I don't think it's that. I don't think the Lions will ever fall back to the Lions. Now, I'm not saying that they're always going to go 12-5 for the remainder of the years, but I don't think they're ever going to get back.
I hope so.
To where that
I hope
was.
You're right.
The thing that can derail them is if Brian Flores is the real deal with the Minnesota Vikings and he turns that defense around, and then in year 2, Kevin
O'Connell.
And that was my former teammate. Kevin O'Connell really get the offense working with Kirk Cousins, Jefferson, Dalvin Cook if they choose to keep him. KJ Osborne's another wide receiver for them. Get that thing going. If Minnesota turns out to be the real deal with Brian Flores and defense, I think that's the only thing that can play into spoilers for the Detroit Lions.
The Minnesota Vikings were 13-4 last year, division champions. They were 11-0 in one-score games. That will not repeat itself. You just cannot be that good in one-score games this year. 11-0, come on. There's a hiccup somewhere in there, aren't there?
It was so funny because they were like 1-10 the year before.
Yeah, the year before.
They were 1-10.
That's because their defense let them down late in the games that year, and that would cost their head coach his job.
He cost himself his job with that bonehead defensive stuff he was doing. But you're right.
So they played back-to-back years. They play a lot of one-score games.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're always a good team. Like they always are going to have 2 Pro Bowlers on defense and figure out a defense. They're always going to have 2-3 Pro Bowlers on offense. They are always going to be a team that you have to play 4 quarters with. Always, no matter what.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens here in free agency. Still plenty of guys that the Lions wanted. Just starting with
who do you want to see? Like who's a free agent? Like right now, this free agent list, the Detroit Lions, they got money, they got cap space, they're trying to make a splash. They want to win the NFC North right now, potentially get the NFC Championship. Who is the free agent that Ryan Ermanni needs?
Mentioned him earlier in the show, David Long. David Long, linebacker from the Tennessee Titans, 26 years old. It's a guy that could grow with this team. And again, I'm signing all young players.
Yeah.
Again. Guys in their mid-20s, guys that have been in this league, that have shown that they have earned the money in this league, and not guys that you're paying on the way out. I do like Levante David. I do like him. I think Levante David could probably play till he's 38 years old and be just fine.
Well, that's in 3 years.
Yeah,
He's 35.
right? I think so. He's, 33 years old?
Yeah.
I think you need linebacker help. I really do. I think you need a stud linebacker to stick next to Malcolm Rodriguez and just keep rotating guys in and out. Keep guys fresh. But I would pay a guy like David Long. And I would pay a guy, you can't just have a bunch of 20-somethings on your team either.
That's
you
where
can't
I was going to go.
You got to have some sort of really true, been there, done that kind of veteran in that locker room. And in that respect, I do love Levante David. But if I could choose David Long at 26 or a Levante David at 33, I'm paying David Long.
What's important about getting veterans, and I just saw the Baltimore Ravens release Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, 10-time Pro Bowler, great player, Hall of Fame, definitely bona fide Hall of Famer. the veterans in a locker room, they provide you with so much. And I'm not saying go get Calais Campbell. I don't know what the tag would be. But you need to get some 30-year-olds in that locker room, Ryan Ermanni. You need to get a couple guys that have played in this league and have success. And it's not even about on-the-field stuff, Ryan. It's not even about, I need him because he's been in the Super Bowl. I need him because he's had 1,400 yards or blah, blah. You need guys that can just give you life lessons. Like, one of the coolest things about being on a team with veterans, like my 2010 season with the Jets, we bring in LaDainian Tomlinson, we bring in Jason Taylor, brought in some vets. Just having conversations with those guys, like when you're dealing with your kids, or you're dealing with schools, or you're dealing with life, or you don't know how to talk to coaches, or you're dealing with your whatever. Like the veterans on teams, man, they keep you focused, keep you guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like keep you feeling good so that you can be focused for football. Veterans are very important.
Big trade over the weekend as well. The Chicago Bears sent the #1 overall pick to the Carolina Panthers. Did Carolina make that trade and not have a player identified as their top target? We'll talk about that and see what's happening there. Will they
What
trade
are you
back?
doing, Carolina?
And how that'll affect the Lions. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Call them.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, the seafood is back. You know it, the Seafood Fest at Big Boy. Catch it while you can, especially during the Lent season. How about those shrimp specials? The shrimp Alfredo, the shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. And then, of course, on Friday nights, that's the good time because it's the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet at your local Big Boy. Get there.
Seafood, eat food.
You look at teams that got better today. The Detroit Lions got better. Cam Sutton, 3 years, $33 million. The 49ers got better.
Oh, my God.
The Kansas City Chiefs got better with
left tackle.
The left tackle. The Denver Broncos got better. The Denver Broncos got better today. Just some of the impact players.
You see what the Broncos are doing.
That are gone.
Sean Payton he's shoring up the offensive line. He's going to really, really, really take it back to when Russell had success. They're going to use Javonte Williams a lot, the running back. He's going to have a good season, and then they'll keep Russell in the pocket, do a lot of those things. I see what Sean Payton is doing.
And he's shopping his receivers. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Why am I throwing receivers the ball that don't catch it?
There you go. Hey, Tom Mazawey, big trade over the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Bears and Panthers. Panthers move all the way up to #1, and the Bears move all the way down to #9. You see the draft compensation. And now the kicker is Carolina, Frank Reich. They have a couple of quarterbacks that are really interesting them. So here's the scoop. They might be back on the clock, or they might be trading that pick, maybe move down 1 or 2 spots, depending on where they think their future quarterback is going to lay.
Yeah, they are open. Carolina is to trading that #1 pick again. Dan Orlovsky, some other NFL insiders saying that Carolina traded all the way up to #1
just to trade back,
and have not identified who they want to take at #1. Do they like one of 3 quarterbacks, and they wanted to ensure that they got one of those 3? And that would tell me that Levis is out. They only like CJ, they only like Bryce, and they only like Anthony Richardson.
Correct.
Those are the 3 quarterbacks they wanted to make sure they got one of them, and they had to do what they had to do to ensure one of those 3 players.
Pretty smart.
It definitely is really smart on their part, and it also makes sense
if
that
they could trade back to 4.
Yeah, very true.
You know,
did the Bears go back too far? That's the kick.
That's a good question. With the Carolina Panthers, if they go back, this is a great move because now you're at 1. You can essentially float back to 2, 3, or 4 and still get a quarterback. The reason why they don't know who they want to take, Ryan, at number 1, Bryce Young. He's 5'10". They lied about his height at Alabama. He's super small. He came in under 200 pounds. If he gets hit, man, he's probably out. Do I really want that problem? You got Anthony Richardson. Oh, man, I fell in love with him at the combine. He tested off the roots. He tested off the chart. He has the big arm. He has the height. I saw the between the legs dunk in the basketball court. Oh, I saw all this stuff. I also saw the game tape. I also saw that game with Will Levis and him. I also saw and read his completion percentage. I also saw what he was doing. So then that's the other part. Am I letting these people, these pundits, these media, Twitter, social media, am I letting them gas me to draft our future quarterback? C.J. Stroud. Is he another Ohio State quarterback? Is he a little bit better? Did the Georgia game do it for me? Did it take me over the edge and let me know I believe in C.J. Stroud? Every one of those 3 players, there are a million thoughts in picking them. I know why they don't know who they want yet.
Or they know who they want, and they're just playing around to see if someone will come up.
Yeah, it could be.
Trying to get somebody to pay.
There's no doubt about it. It has become clear. I think let's all agree on this, where everybody in the chat was ripping on us for taking Anthony Richardson so high at 6.
Someone will.
He's not even going to be there at 6.
Yeah.
And it has become clear at the very least that Anthony Richardson has surpassed Will Levis on these depth charts.
Correct.
On your draft board.
Thank God. I hope he does not get drafted.
Will Levis to you, Braylon, is Malik Willis to me.
Yeah.
I want Malik Willis to be so successful in the NFL because I want to be so right about that.
Yeah.
Conversely,
Good luck with that.
You want Will Levis to be so bad.
Yes.
In the NFL,
he's bad.
So you can be so right about Will Levis.
I know what I see in Will Levis, and it's not what they're making him out to be. Everybody's trying to get themselves a Justin Herbert, a Patrick Mahomes, one of these transcending quarterbacks, if you will. Newsflash, Will Levis ain't that.
Hey, let me ask you a dumb question. I've asked about dumb questions. Seeing what the Lions have done in free agency today. Now, again, granted, it's not done
What they
yet.
made 3 moves today?
Well, they re-signed Isaiah Buggs and they signed
Cam
Sutton.
Okay, 2
And
years.
Craig Reynolds.
And Craig Reynolds.
Yeah, it's been a hard day.
If you identify Will Anderson Jr. as the guy that is the game changer, do you trade up to get him, or do you just make all
Depends
those
what
picks?
you cost.
It might
Depends what
cost
it
you a
costs.
lot. What is it going to cost? The first swapping first this year and a second next year?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, right. I don't know. You're not trading a 1 for it.
No.
You know, you're not trading a 1 for it.
I will say this about the Lions. They got some good news over the weekend in Tracy Walker, who has showed some of his workouts. Just like Jeff Okudah last year, Tracy Walker bouncing back from Achilles. He says, and I quote, "I am almost 100%." And there's T. Walker up and down. And he's been trying to get Darius Slay to come here. Jerry Jacobs reached out to Darius Slay. It ain't going to happen. Darius Slay's not coming here.
Why not?
He's probably going to. I think he stays with the Eagles because he reached out to Adam Thielen. And he said, "Hey, Adam, you want to win? Come here because we're winning next year." That's what Darius Slay said. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
If Matt Patricia goes to the Eagles, I don't think he stays there. I really don't.
How could they sign that bump?
I really don't. I saw you guys talking about it a little bit last week. I really don't. You can have bad relationships. You can't have totally toxicity.
Yeah.
You can't have it. You take your best player and you put the guy that not only was a bad coach, but treated him inhumanely.
Yeah.
That's not a recipe for good culture. That's not a recipe for that make me want to be on the way out.
Not to mention, is he even that good of a coach? Not to mention, like you keep talking about how great he is as a defensive coordinator. I saw his teams, his defenses get ran through in the Super Bowl. I saw his defense getting ran through in the playoff. Name me the signature Matt Patricia play or series. Don't worry, I'll wait. Bum.
Well, yeah, for the Lions?
No, even before, just like when he was the Patriots.
The interception at the goal line, I would say, but that wasn't
him. That wasn't him. That wasn't that man.
Hey,
that wasn't him.
My guy Baker Mayfield is.
Oh my God! Would you stop bringing up Baker Mayfield?
I'm not going to stop because the Buccaneers now want to sign him as their starter.
That would be
not alone. The Rams would like to re-sign him, and the 49ers at one point wanted to sign him. He's going to the Rams. Excuse me. He's going to the Niners, or he's going to the Bucks.
I think that's a really good signing for the Bucks, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You save a little bit of face in your locker room a little bit, showing to your guys, hey, this is a former number 1 overall pick. We're taking a shot and seeing if we can get something with him, with the mindset that you want to tank next year. You want the number 1 overall pick. So you kind of do a little bit of both. You're
using my guy to tank? Is that what you're telling me?
Because he's a bum.
You almost insure yourself
the
number 1 pick overall next year.
The Panthers?
No, the Bucks.
Oh yeah. So you're tanking organically, without anybody even knowing.
Trask.
You kind of say to yourself, you know what? Yeah. We are going to try to keep this thing together. We do think we can win with Baker. Maybe we can revive his career. So because the guys in that room, they're not trying to lose. As an organization, you might do whatever you got to do to get that number 1 overall pick or to have a good draft pick, but you're not trying to lose. You're working your tail off. You want to make sure that the organization you have upstairs is putting you in the best position to win, and Baker Mayfield does do that better than Kyle Trask.
Ryan Ermanni, what did Robbie Anderson say on Twitter when he found out Baker might be coming to the Carolina Panthers? Oh, hell no, not him. That's how everybody feels in the NFL. So if I'm a wide receiver, if I'm Mike Evans, and Todd Bowles comes to me and tells me, hey, you know what? We know we lost time this year, but we think we still got it. We think we're still there. We're gonna bring in Baker Mayfield, former number 1. I'm gonna be like, you have got to be kidding that you can tell me that we're gonna bring in Baker Mayfield and we still have a chance to keep this thing rolling. Them players ain't that dumb. As soon as Baker Mayfield walks through that door, everybody knows the time it is. You better book that vacation in December.
All right, I got some more for you. Your guy. As you would call him, Austin Eckler wants a trade. He wants money.
Yeah.
The Chargers don't want to pay him. They probably can't pay him because they got to pay Justin Herbert. So Austin Eckler, they told him, go out and find a trade partner.
This is going to be interesting to see what market he goes for. Ryan Ermanni. You're talking about a guy that is a touchdown machine, but doesn't put up a lot of yards. Like, I saw a lot of drives last year where he just didn't get yards. He got stalled. Like, if they're not throwing him the ball out the backfield, doesn't really get a lot of yards. And he scores those touchdowns because they're always in the red zone. So a lot of those are like inside the 5, touchdowns or screens or whatever. I don't know what the price point is on him. Like, I don't know if it's – because right now, what's the market? It's $10 million.
Hard no for me.
You said hard no?
Hard no for me.
He just doesn't give me enough. I mean, he scores touchdowns, but they don't extend drives.
And I'm trying to get Bijan Robinson at 18 too, by the way.
Bijan's back up.
Right, that is why. Guys, Selection Sunday last night. Did you get your brackets out? We'll talk about our bracket challenge and the latest on the University of Detroit, the Titans, and their postseason is over before it even started. Tell you why, but first a message from Custom Health Centers. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Monday. Got on the scale today. Are you ready?
Talk to me.
Down 18 pounds. 2 pounds away from my goal weight loss of 20 pounds. I am now 2 pounds away from that 20-pound weight loss that I've been working hard for. And really, I haven't been working all that hard for it. Custom Health Centers, I have to thank for that. Takes the willpower out of weight loss, whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds. Custom Health Centers has the plan for you. Give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. That number again, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch. We got JB. Everybody doing good today?
We are.
Smooth. All right. Very good.
Great
good.
sports day. Great sports
Did you get your brackets done?
No,
I did.
Michigan, I didn't fill out a
I'm
bracket.
3 deep already.
You are? What do you got, man? Tell me about your brackets.
I love this time of the year, and we're going to talk about it as the days go on. I want to compare March Madness to other great events, because let me tell you, I'm sitting there last night, and I'm watching the selection show, which I love, on CBS, and Greg Gumbel does a great job. Jay Wright joined them this year. It's just a great panel. Seth, what's Seth's last
Wickersham?
name? Nah,
Greenberg?
Oh, Greenberg.
No, it wasn't Seth.
Oh, no, you talking the ball head
Seth
dude.
Davis.
Seth Davis.
Ball head guy,
Thank
right?
you. No, that's
the
Seth Greenberg.
skinny guy on the
Oh,
end.
that is Greenberg. Okay.
And not Greg Kelser, but
Greg Gumbel?
No, Greg
You
Gumbel.
okay
I already
today,
said
Maz?
it. Yeah, I'm fine. I love the CBS coverage
All the black
and
guys
their
look alike?
panel.
Jay Wright?
Yeah, Jay Wright joined them last night. I said that already.
We all look alike, man.
Anyway, it's a phenomenal show.
Clark
I'm
Kellogg?
sitting there. Clark Kellogg.
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
who it is.
That's who I
Yeah,
meant.
Greg Kelser.
Clark Kellogg. Clark Kellogg. So I'm sitting there watching it with my daughter, Lily, and I just love when they pan to the smaller schools.
Lily watched the selection show with you?
Yeah, she's big into college
You have
basketball.
punished these girls, man. You got to
No,
watch the
she loved
selection
it.
show?
She loved it.
No,
I
no.
watched it, but videoed it, recorded it,
Okay.
and then went back and watched it with her.
You recorded the selection show?
Yeah, every year. Every year.
That's so great.
Because I like to see what these guys say.
You're sick.
I like to hear their upset picks. So I'm watching it with her, and you see all these small schools celebrating. To me, and I said it to her, this is the greatest sporting event in sports. It is the everyman's event because you can win. Anybody can win. Look what my guy St. Peter's did last year. Little St. Peter's in Jersey City. Right on Kennedy Boulevard, where I got kicked out of that school back in 1982.
man.
Loved it. Loved the Peacocks. Look at
what
them.
were you
They
doing?
went
How'd
to
you
the
get kicked out?
elite.
Plagiarism?
They went to the elite. Not plagiarism. I didn't show up. I didn't go to the freaking class.
Oh, Bueller.
Anyway,
okay.
the Peacocks, man, make it to the Elite Eight. Go back to 1976 where Little Rutgers goes to the Final Four against Michigan.
This guy's giving us a history
I
lesson.
know, right?
Jesus.
I'm like half up.
You just go
Half
on and
sleep.
on. It's such a great event. These little schools.
Wake me up when it starts.
UDM, if they would have gotten in, who the hell knows how long they could have got? I'm just saying, anybody can win. That's how I like college football to be run. But they can't. They're not smart enough to do it this way. They're getting there, but they're not smart enough to do it this way because this event is second to none, if you ask me.
College football will never get to where college basketball is in terms of March Madness because if you got 3 guys in college basketball, like you can make some noise.
And the little guy will never beat the big guy.
Exactly.
Don't ever say that.
And they'll get there, but here's how.
Toledo will never beat Alabama.
This is why I say this. Look, you can have 2-3 guys and go to Kentucky or go to UNC and whatever, and then these guys could legitimately get to a national championship game or get to the Final Four. Like, that's all it takes in basketball is a couple guys. You get the smaller schools where guys have been playing for 5 years. They got chemistry. They know each other. That's how they make their run in tournament because they know their players. They're better than them. They're a better team. In football, it's never going to be that way. The little guy's never coming for Georgia. The little guy's never coming for Alabama. The little guy's never coming for Ohio State. It just won't work that way in football. But to your point, March Madness is fun. It is something special about filling out a bracket. It is something special about, the dance, the Cinderella, the buzzer beaters.
Remember when Colgate beat Duke a few years back? I mean,
I remember UNC Mercy beat St. John's.
It's just
With Felipe Lopez.
It's just so good. It's just like Virginia Commonwealth. They get in the freaking Elite Eight.
It's even better when your team is in the NCAA tournament.
Let me say this though too. If you have not done this yet, shameless plug for us. We ask you if you like what you see here on WoodwardSports.com. The morning guys, Neil, D-Mac. Us, the night guys. If you like what you see at Woodward Sports, please go to WoodwardSports.com and fill out our bracket challenge. We have partnered up with our friends from Gardner White.
I was there on Saturday, by the way.
The only local Michigan furniture store. It's got 12 locations. It is Gardner White has a new partnership with Lazy Boy.
I bought 2 Lazy Boys.
Did you really?
And two shelving units
That is
from Gardner
so
White
awesome.
on Saturday.
So first place prize $1,000 and 2 Lazy Boy recliners. Second place $500 and 1 Lazy Boy recliner. And third place gets $100. Totally free to enter. Just enter right now.
Not $100, bro. It's been updated.
So
You get a lazy boy.
And a Lazy Boy.
You get a Lazy Boy.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yes.
So woodwardsports.com. Go there now. Just fill out the bracket challenge. The more people we can get in this, the better it would be for us here at Woodward Sports. So we invite everybody to do that. Anybody that's a supporter of Woodward Sports, please do it. It is free to enter.
Quick, back to the NFL for 2 seconds. Breaking news, if you will. Veteran safety. Appreciate you, JB.
That's it.
Veteran safety Von Bell from the Cincinnati Bengals has just signed with the Carolina Panthers. That comes from JB.
Wow, that's a big one.
That's a huge one. But you see, they had a really good defense last year, the Carolina Panthers, a pretty good defense. They're adding pieces. This is a major piece for them. And Mariah, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. When you got to pay your quarterback, you can't pay all your players.
That's right.
And why do you think the Cincinnati Bengals got rid of Von Bell? Because they got to pay Joe Burrow coming up.
And he just teamed up with J.C. Horn. That's a hell of a backfield.
That's a hell of a backfield.
Von Bell, the 39th ranked free agent here on NFL.com. So Von Bell, safety there. I want to get just
March Madness.
University of Michigan accepted a bid. They'll host Toledo at Chrysler in the NIT. Great. Okay, good.
I smell an upset.
Yeah, they're not going to win.
No,
I really think they're going to
lose
Toledo.
Toledo could beat them.
So you know what Lee Thomas said to me today at Fox 2?
Shout out to Lee Thomas. Movie
Shout out
critic.
to Lee Thomas.
Oh, he had a big night last night.
Yeah, he
man.
did.
Oscars.
And I never thought about this until he mentioned it. Michigan basketball has not been the same since Juwan slapped that coach.
Wisconsin, yeah.
They haven't. And I don't know if that just coincided with anything.
Did they go to the Final Four that year?
Elite 8.
I don't know if he lost their swagger or what, or if Caleb Houston and Moussa Diabate and those losses, because Hunter Dickinson just looks like
he's mailed it in.
He's totally mailed it in.
Yeah.
But next year's a big year for Michigan, I feel like. This year is very disappointing. Very disappointing.
That's interesting, but at the same time, as bad as they played last year, they still snuck to the Elite 8.
Yeah, that's true.
They still, even after the slap, once he comes back,
That's true.
And Martell, they still snuck to the Elite 8. But it was bad this year.
I just never considered it, but
Right.
it was so bad this year.
It was horrible. This was awful to watch. This reminded me of my freshman year at Michigan, watching those guys with Chris Young and those guys. Watching them this year, man, they just didn't have an identity about themselves. They didn't finish games. They blew leads every single game. They had a double-digit lead.
I do think Toledo's going to beat Michigan.
I think so, too. It's ugly in Ann Arbor, but I will push back on Flannel Sam. Flannel Sam came on last week and said, fire Juwan Howard. Fire Juwan Howard. Fire Juwan Howard.
Oh,
Shut up.
Oh,
you know how hard it is to get a college coach now? Because nobody wants to go to school anymore.
Stop it.
All these teams
Don't say stop it.
are taking...
Can't fire Juwan Howard.
Don't say stop it.
Next year, talk to me. They don't make the tournament next year. Talk
then
to
don't
me.
say stop it. Say, let's see what he does this year.
All right.
No,
let's see what he does next
Because
year.
they look like garbage this
Hold
year.
on. I agree with Ryan on this. Stop it. And the reason I say stop it, Juwan Howard's been there 4 years. He went 19-12, and it was a COVID year. So they got played the 1 year. They would have been a 1 seed. He got a 1 seed his first year, and then he got a 2nd seed his 3rd year. Pipe down with the Juwan Howard stuff. Last season was awful. It was awful. Pipe down with the fire Juwan Howard stuff.
But don't go anywhere yet.
UNC won a national championship, brought back Bangkok, and didn't even make the NCAA tournament. Ain't nobody talking about fire Hubert Davis.
Let's not talk about the NIT right now. Let's talk about Tom Izzo on his 25th straight
Unbelievable.
big dance to my guy. I love Tom Izzo.
It's an
I
incredible
love
run.
Tom Izzo. And they come in as a 7 seed this year, MSU. They get to play at Ohio State on Friday, noon, against USC. They're going to beat USC. But then they're going to be in for it because Marquette's going to be waiting for them.
It's an incredible run what Tom Izzo's done there.
There are only 4 Michigan State individuals that I love. Like they wore amazing blue.
Yeah.
Tom Izzo.
Absolutely.
Magic Johnson. Greg Kelser, and Charles Rogers. Rest in peace. Those are the 4 guys that I don't look at as Michigan State. I just look at it as greatness. Tom Izzo is amazing. Like I feel this way about Tom Izzo when we had him on the show. Every time I see Tom Izzo, because it's a respect thing. Like you want to just make sure, like, hey coach, hey Braylon from Michigan. Every time I say that to him, shut up, Braylon. I know who you are. Jesus Christ, how's Lloyd doing? Like he makes you feel like that. I love Tom Izzo. Shout out to him.
Love Tom
25,
Izzo.
baby.
Probably one of the top 5 guys. One of my top 5 guys. I love Tom Izzo. I love Tom Izzo.
How about UNC, the #1 darling coming into this year, left out of the tournament? They were first 4 out. So Hubert Davis says, no thank you to the NIT. They put out a letter to their fans.
Yeah.
And they just, it's not in them to play the NIT this year.
This is what I was talking about last week when I was like, if Michigan gets an NIT bid, turn it down.
No.
Turn it down.
We're not that good.
You said what?
We're not that good.
I think it's punishment. You should play in the
that's
NIT.
what I think too, actually.
Yeah. Punishment. Play an extra couple of home games.
No.
You deserve it.
No. I disagree. Michigan has the cachet. This is the Fab Four. This is the Fab Four. This is the Fab
It is
Five.
the Fab Four.
This is true. This is the Fab Five. You look at what they've done in the last 12 years. They've been to 2 finals. They lost them both. They've been to 2 finals. They've been to 4 Final Fours. They've been to 60. Come on. I'm not accepting this.
I think it's punishment. I think it's punishment.
No, you know what happens and why you don't. No,
punishment.
No, you know why you don't do that? Because you're gonna say punishment. You're gonna do this, and then Toledo's gonna beat your ass by 20, and now you look even dumber.
Good.
As a team.
Good.
It's a bad look. If I'm a 5-star, and I'm like,
hey, we got a super fan, Jam Cat, paying some money to say Jafraud Howard with 4 clown emojis.
Damn, clown.
Jafraud Howard.
Hey, I want to ask you about Antoine Davis, guys. UDM. I want to do that next, but first a message from Fairway.
I've been waiting for this.
Packing Company, Fairway Packing. Boy, what can I tell you about this? You really want to elevate your dinners? You got to stop by Fairway Packing. They've got a steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue. It is why the top chefs in the country choose Fairway Packing Company. Like I said, that steak shop on Mack Avenue is like heaven to me.
See, mouth water.
If you're not close, you could visit them online. They ship anywhere. You could get the burrata blended burgers, the award-winning Chop House steaks, or you can impress your friends with a dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak. That's right. See why those top chefs choose Fairway. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Sourced, aged,
cut to perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many people have tried, and many people have loved the services of Mark and Swiss Insurance Group. If you're looking to change it up, give them a shot. Mark at Swiss Insurance Group. All right, Ermanni and Edwards, last segment of the show. Ryan has quit. He's no longer working with us over here. No, I'm just joking. Maz?
No Antoine Davis anymore, guys. The U of D Titans did not get an invite to the CBI tournament. So Tony Paul wrote it late last night. It looks like they were on the fence for a while, and I guess the CBIs have said, nah, we'll get a pass. I did talk to Nate, the gentleman that helps represent Antoine Davis. I brought him into our studios last Thursday, and he said Antoine's at peace. He's okay. He's happy. He's getting ready for the NBA draft, and I'm just a little disappointed. I would like to have seen them play another game or two.
Yeah, after having him in the studio last week, no, you're doing nothing but cheering for this man, Antoine Davis. He was an amazing kid, great insight, just a great kid. You want to see him have success. I wanted him to have that record, but you know what? It doesn't matter.
No,
he had a tremendous career. He had a tremendous attitude and of He's going to be something in life. He's going to be very successful. I don't know what it is, but I know he's going to be very successful. Man, do you think any of these Pistol Pete Maravich sympathizers, you think they might have had something to do with them?
Yeah,
not getting that bid?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. Almost like they said, hey,
you can't break the record.
What do we need to do to have you keep out Detroit?
Yeah.
What needs to happen?
I agree.
The thing is, Detroit would have had to pay, and I read this last week, I think it's $27,000
$27K
to join this CBI tournament, and then you travel down to Florida and you play the tournament. The kid would have broke it, no question about it. We know what kind of scorer he is.
Yeah.
We know what kind of person this kid is, and we know he could have gotten this record. He could have broken his record a lot earlier than it came down to, and he didn't. It's okay.
Yeah.
He wanted his team to win. Youngstown State, they almost beat the #1 team in the Horizon. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But hats off to Antoine Davis, Mike Davis, and UDM Titans.
Without question. Guys, we got a giveaway.
We do.
Ooh.
We got a giveaway.
What are you giving me?
What are we giving
We got
away?
a Penei Sewell jersey going out. We had put it up last week on Twitter, this weekend on Twitter, and our winner is, put it up there, buddy. It is Alex Lund.
Alex Lund 81.
There we go.
Is a winner of a Penei Sewell
posts.
number 58 Lions jersey. Congrats, Alex Lund. Thank you for listening and spreading the word and watching us here on Woodward Sports.
He's got 657 followers, but he only has 3 posts. He must be a great guy.
Good job. Enjoy that Penei Sewell jersey. Hopefully we're here when you come pick it up.
That's right.
How about it?
We do this often, man. We've done
some cool
a
stuff,
lot of
some
stuff,
helmets,
man. And
some
right
gear.
now we've got our March Madness bracket going on with
March
Gardner
Madness.
White. Get involved with that if you want a chance to win $1,000, 2 lazy boys, $500 and 1 lazy boy, or third place, a lazy boy. See how you do on your brackets. Try to beat us.
This is going to be the hardest bracket to pick ever.
Yeah, I'll give you my champion. It is UConn.
I got UCLA.
I got UConn, 4 seed.
UCLA over Alabama.
4 seed.
Kansas over Houston.
Ooh.
You're going with 2 1s.
I'm going, who was my final 4? I had Alabama, Memphis.
Memphis, the number 8 seed. You got to go far. Nice.
And I forgot who the other one was.
My logic, my method this year in my picking is when you know that college basketball is bad, you just look for the teams you recognize. And Kansas is the number 1 seed, and they won that championship last year. I'm going with Kansas.
Bill Self just got out of the hospital.
Yeah. What happened to him?
There's a story.
He's going to be back with the team this week anyway.
He's back with the team.
Hats off to the Red Wings.
The mob roughed
Red
him
Wings
up.
almost swept the Boston Bruins.
Look at that.
They split with them. They win yesterday afternoon at LCA, 5-3. Big win over the big bad Bruins.
Wins like this suck. And I know that's going to sound crazy. They suck because where was this when they were playing Ottawa 3 weeks ago? Because then if they beat Ottawa, then they maybe not Terry Pertuzzi, maybe pay Pertuzzi a little bit less, and then maybe they're going to the playoff. But now they got a great win for nothing.
Damn. Braylon, get us out of here. We'll more tomorrow. Will the Lions have another signing by the time we hit air tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes.
I say yes as well. That means there will be no signing tomorrow.
Everybody's on board.
Yeah.
Ryan, great to have you back, buddy.
Great to be back.
Great to have you back, man. We definitely missed you around here. Gang's all here. It's going to be a great week for us. Free agency, man, is about to heat up. What will the Detroit Lions do, and will they make moves so they can fully own the North, like my man Jon Snow? For JB, Fletch, Uncle Maz on the couch, the wall's coming down. For my brother Ryan Ermanni, love you, man. Glad to have you back. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and we will see you tomorrow.
Man.